this. Is there anything you want the fans to know or any last thing you want to say to them before we get to see this series tonight?
This is where the fun begins.
Hold on. Okay.
Hey everyone, and we are back. We are live. Welcome to Jedi Mike 7 Movie News Show. I'm your host, Jedi Mike 7. I'm here with my co-host, Jay King. Jay King, how you doing?
I am doing good. I'm doing fabulous. It's a beautiful, well, I guess now the day's over. Was a beautiful Monday. But yes.
Yes, we do. This is Monday, and some good news dropped today, y'all. As of today, at least not, really about to be set in stone and pen and paper and everything. But,
but we'll know more tomorrow, but yeah.
Yes, but after a long and rigorous and 142 days, I think 142, if I'm correct.
Or 5 months, but yeah.
Yeah. The writer's strike, it's over.
Kind of. But yes.
Tentatively. Yeah, so and here I'm about to show you the article from Deadline. But before we get into that, we're going to be covering just a few topics about, that the WGA has reached an agreement with some studios to basically end the strike. They still have to set in motion in terms of voting with the rest of the committee within the WGA, but basically the more difficult process of this has been passed now. So now it's almost just finalizing everything, which probably give about maybe a couple more weeks maximum with that. But with WGA, it was just the first of a few strikes that we have going on right now. We have the SAG-AFTRA strike, SAG-AFTRA Guild strike, and that's still going on, which is going to be a little more difficult, but still after that, then we basically get the ball rolling and these studios get back to production. And with that, it goes to some shows and films and topics we're going to be covering here today about how this is going to affect, the rest of the movie industry once this strike is removed. So let's get into the article here. Give me 1 second. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you guys hit subscribe button, comment, like, and share, and hit notification bell as well, so you'll be up to date on any new uploads we have here and live streams that we have here going out through the week. We drop a few today, which kind of go more in depth in this topic, though. But yeah, make sure you guys check that out. But let's go into this article here from the WGA from Deadline. Give me 1 second. I can read this. All right. I'm making sure you all can see this. Cancel. All right, you can see the screen? All right.
Yeah, we can see it.
All right. So the Writers Guild have reached a tentative agreement with the Alliance of Motion Pictures and Television Producers to end its strike after nearly 5 months. The parties finalized the framework of the deal Sunday when they were able to untangle their stalemate over AI in writing rooms staffing levels. WGA and the AMTP have reached a tentative agreement. WGA and the AMTP said in a joint statement this evening. Excuse me. We'll go screw here. So details of the agreement haven't been released yet, but will be revealed by the guild in advance of membership ratification votes. This is the process. They have to go to vote on this new agreement, so they all are on one accord moving forward with this. But from the first initial reactions, everybody is still happy with how this is turning out. Let me get this. There we go. Hi, article. There we go. So the next step in the process, we'll see that Ellen Stutzman led the WGA negotiation committee vote on whether to recommend the agreement and send it on to WGA board and the WGAE council for approval, and votes tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, which is tomorrow. The guild said tonight, and another vote by the respective board and council could lift the strike restraining order and allow scribes to return to work during the ratification vote, which means, let me give you clarifications, meaning that, yes, is the strike over? Yes and no. Now, meaning that the terms of them being having the picket fences and everything, that is now over. However, they can still join in solidarity of the SAG after the strike, but they can't stand in terms of the strike of the WGA because now that's been over. What's haven't been done is terms of them voting in the committee so they can move forward and actually have this agreement go through approval. So that's really what's going on. But technically, the strike is over. But yeah, so but the next thing though we can get into is talking about now that the WGA has ended strike, what does this mean for the actors? Because again, we still have that still going on, and as of today, there's still a voting committee strike for the strike for video games to actually go on strike as well. So but again, it's like, yes, we're making progress, but at the same time, we're also taking a couple steps back because we're about to go on another strike with another different industry. So Jay King, I just want to know what's your thoughts on all this minutia of all this, everything. We got a deal. It's now been about to be finalized and everything. But how do you feel now? This is one step moving forward in the right direction.
I mean, as we said, like I already had went over basically what they had said in the video that we had released earlier today. But basically, like, again, everything's going to be finalized on Tuesday, but it's like we still don't know what the context, like not even the other WGA members know the full context of like everything that the deal is going to entail. They still don't know all the details of that. Yeah, we'll know that most likely tomorrow or at some point this week, basically. So it's like we still don't properly know everything that this is going to give to the writers. I mean, it is still a good thing, and it's good that we're at least an inch closer to trying to, give the people what they deserve for all the work that they have done on these shows and movies. It's still going to take a bit of time. We still got SAG-AFTRA. We also got the video games that are about to now go on strike too. But at least this is a step, even if we're still far, far from things being somewhat back to normal, but better. It still is somewhat of a good, it's still somewhat of a good step forward. Again, there's still a lot we don't know yet, but this is still a good start at the very least. At least a deal that helps both companies is being made, that they finally got off their ass and gave them a good deal. Mm-hmm. Now, it could change. It is still subject to change, especially because, again, they're going to have to go through this, like lawyers and everyone are going to have to go through this and make sure that this is exactly what the WGA wants. If there's one little thing off, they could easily say, yeah, no, we're not taking this deal until they make like a better deal. But for now, it's just wait and see.
Right. Now, I have my personal opinions on this in terms of how this whole thing turned out, because John Campia made a stream about this just recently, and I actually got to agree with them. I thought this was absolutely ridiculous how it took this long for them to actually end this writer strike, because it was 142 days. 142 days of over probably thousands of people were not able to work because of this. And it wasn't because 142 days people were in rooms actually negotiating these deals. No, out of 9 of those days, 9 days out of the 142 days that they were actually in room actually having discussion. And I call both parties on this.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that, because I know, and I understand that we're in solidarity with with the writers and everything. I'm not disagreeing on the the deal or anything like that. Well, I'm saying just the process of them. Hey, listen, let's sit down and actually have this conversation, right? Especially if you look at what the Dancing with the Stars. Dancing with the Stars have writers. They have one writer over a bunch of people under the production of that show, but they still have one writer who's a WGA member. And because of that, all those people around that are in connected with him or him or her were able to work for 142 days because of one writer and one WGA strike that was going on. And yes, I'm not saying that it's because of the actual writer. I'm saying because this whole process that you basically in the stalemate where we could resolve this 2 months ago. We could resolve it 2 months ago, right? But both sides were kind of playing this picking, basically pointing finger here. And for me, I just call more on these people that listen. There will not be a day I will not wait to actually try to end this thing instead of just like, no, instead of me picking on the fence, which obviously throughout history, protesting and everything has helped us progress us in some ways and everything like that. What I'm saying is that there could have been a better way we could conduct this business. Now, also from a studio's point, but also from us or as the WGA guild that was actually striking, and because this should not have taken this long. Same thing gonna go for the SAG. Same thing for actors as well, because as many as I can say, well, some of these actors are millionaires. No, some of them are still working class, citizens and probably middle wage and everything. Some of them can afford, healthcare and all that stuff. But regardless of that, there's still some things where it's like you guys still cannot meet in a room in person just to try to end this. Instead, there's comments from both studios. For one saying we're just gonna let this ride out and all that stuff and let them starve and everything, or say, oh yeah, the studios, they were not agreeable with our terms and everything. We're not going to go, we're not going to meet with them until they agree with our terms. And it's like, okay, this is where it comes back to, all right, assess, come back in, have a conversation and go from there. But that's not what happened. What happened was this bickering and comments from both, really, and also from studios too, some really stupid comments too, that really didn't make the case any better. Because if you remember, there was also a strike that happened back in 2008. There's still writers or writers from that from 2008 that they still never recovered from their careers, because if you remember, reality TV shows went up had a spike after 2008. Why, you may ask? Well, it's because, well, hey, I can make dumb television and have some basic writing. I don't need you, senior writer, to make a show talking about keeping up the Kardashians. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Mic good?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. No, that's my mic just cut off. We can make the cut half the price and never make these dumb reality TV shows and make some money. We don't need you anymore. And that's what happened. And you start seeing the rise of reality television and everything. But now we're here with the strike that's going on right now. There's still going to be some permanent damage that the industry is not going to recover from. What are those damages? We're not going to find out yet, but we're going to find out next summer. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that. But
a lot of delays on both big and small screen. That it's just going to take a while for them to catch up at this point.
Right. Yeah, because like I will say this, like even then, like all the stuff that got delayed, and which we're going to go into, but then the next strike after this though is going to be the SAG after strike. Excuse me, as I get this. The SAG after strike, which this is going to be even more difficult, because then it's like, on the one hand, this is why some people had issues with the whole strike in general, because on the one hand, you had talking about residuals, not just AI, which we all understand, not just having able to afford healthcare, which we understand, but in terms of residuals, is that why is it that only the actors and the writers are going getting residuals and not the production crew, not the any of the makeup or any of the people like that, costume design or anything, getting residuals on these famous shows they also depart from, investing. So that's what I think the pushback, and a good pushback, not the, these shows are crappy, they shouldn't get paid for it. No. because even then, if you actually follow the terms of the WGA, even really the WGA terms, their terms they're bringing is actually supposed to benefit the studio. So, but when it comes to that, or my personal opinion with the residuals, like okay, I get that, but you want residuals for you, we need residuals for all. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So that's what I'm just saying. If you're going to do that, hey, make everybody get a cut from that, and you have the money to do so. Don't be, so that's why I'm just saying that I just had pushback on that end with that. But I just want to know your opinion now, just like how you feel like the process is going to be for SAG for them to end their strike. Because I have a friend of mine, he's an actor in LA right now, and we were messaging each other this morning, and he was just saying that this is one step moving forward, but he's probably seeing this can be ending probably going into the end of October. I said minimum October, anything November, but definitely by Christmas we could.
Hmm.
Oh
Yeah, huh?
no, I sorry, no, you were
What'd you
just
say?
quiet. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was listening, but basically, I have to agree with him. It's like this is like, again, if it took this long to finally get to a deal, no matter what we're gonna learn tomorrow, but it's like the fact that it took this long to get a deal on the writer side, you know how much longer it's definitely going to take on the actors because again, as you said, this is a lot. Like this is a lot. Like it's a good thing that the Writers Guild that we found out a solution for that, but when it comes to the actor side, that's a whole nother can of worms because as we said, AI, the rise of that and studios threatening to just use their likeness, instead of paying them, it's just like, oh, we could just scan your likeness and boom, we got you forever, even if you die, we got you forever kind of deal. That's all going on. It's almost like it's almost, how do I put this? It's almost like a sense of who is going to crack first. Like, is this like the studios may have given the writers a fair deal, and again, we'll find out if it was a fair deal. But in terms of the actors, that's again, it's going to take a lot for the studios to make a deal with them because again, not only are we talking the residuals for the films and TV that they're in, but also when it goes to streaming services, also when it comes to just how well the show or movie performs, like regardless if it's a good one or a bad one. And again, you remember we recently had that whole conversation like off the cameras about whether a show was good or bad, like whether or not that even matters in the grand scheme of this whole like strike, like residuals and everything that you get afterwards. Again, it's just a whole lot that goes into that I feel like, yeah, this is definitely going to take until almost Christmas, maybe even almost the beginning of next year until something is made for this. I say the shortest amount could probably be around Thanksgiving, but the longest I'd say is probably going to be until like Christmas or New Year's that they finally make something happen, at least on the actor side.
No, I think because I think the point was that after the writers make their deal, which should be going in process tomorrow, that that my friend was telling me that then the writers should basically be all backing them, the actors on this and saying so. Then, if anything, that should speed up the process.
I mean, I hope so, but yeah.
Right. But as I'm saying, at that because at this point, it started with the writers and led into the actors and everything. So it just only makes sense where
Mhm.
that just made the process
The domino effect.
just put more gasoline into it. That's what I was saying with that. But
Mhm.
with and again, the conversation with AI, with streaming and everything, because now again, streaming has only been in effect for like about almost 4 or 5 years at this point. On a massive scale. Now we've been having Netflix, for a minute. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? But what I'm saying is that
Yeah.
now that it's just going to get to a point where the industry is going to change, and where will we be in like 10 years from now? We'll be in the same point because first one was like in 2008. Now we're here 2023. What's going to happen next? Streaming and we got some holograms and stuff. I don't know. Like at this point, I just saw The Creator, by the way. I'm doing a review about it tonight though. But shout out to Mr. Red Lipstick
Oh,
Vibes in the
how,
building.
how was that, by the way? I might see it this weekend.
You'll see my review when I drop it. I'll just leave it as that.
Okay.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. but that's more because there's
Gotcha.
an embargo. There's an embargo, so that's why I can't really say much about it.
Mhm.
Yeah, but which is coming out this weekend, by the way. But if you're Taylor Swift, yeah, so yeah, yeah, it's gonna basically to that movie. You're Taylor Swift, and you see the creators basically be like, yeah, it's gonna make lots of money. But yeah, Taylor Swift, not creator.
No,
Anyway,
no,
but yeah,
no.
but anyway, shout out to Gore in the building. Yeah, I'm not gonna be spoiling anything, not spoiling anything. But yeah, but anyway, we just got to talk about the WGA has made an agreement with the studios right now, but it's still in the motion of actually getting to approval, which will be starting tomorrow, and most likely will end around next week. But then the big one is going to be the SAG strike with the AMTP with terms SAG-AFTRA. That's hopefully that they're going to basically the writers can be backing them up after this, and moving this process a little more further. But again, 142 days, people no jobs. That's what I really I understand they have to strike. I'm not discounting they have to strike, but really shame on both of them. They as adults, we could have ended this way better than we could have had, and because we have people's families on the line. So that's just screw a movie coming out. Like I understand the grand. This is a business. It's about making money, provide for your families and all that stuff. And at the end of the day, there would not be a day I would not have waited to be in person, not through email. We all been, if you work in office, you know how that is. In email, like in person, talking to these people so we reach an agreement so we don't have to make this going for another 5 months. It's absolutely ridiculous. That's just, I had to leave that there. But with that, now, because we reached an agreement with these writers, now that means that scripts can now be starting to be developed in such as episodes and films and everything, get back into the drawing boards. Stuff that had been on pause, i.e. Stranger Things and all stuff like that, at least script-wise, will be developed. And but the big house of mouse, it will be Disney. And one of the properties, or two properties that Disney have, is Star Wars and Marvel. And Marvel, we're going to actually be talking about because a lot of delays have happened with the strike and stuff like that. So we're going to go into a new section called What's New with the MCU. Oh, where's my thing? Damn it.
We might need a segment. We might need a segment transition.
All right, here we go. What's new with the MCU? You like that? Yeah.
Nice.
I put some work in that, y'all. That's just for you.
I was like, we might need a segment transition for that, and then boom.
There we go.
You looking for this?
Shout out to CapCut in the building. It's not sponsored, but hey, sponsored. Take it. But yeah, so with the delays that have now been happening with Marvel, such as Falcon, or not should I say Captain America, Brave New World been delayed. Agatha has been delayed. Wonder Man been delayed. Daredevil has stopped production, delayed. Ironheart delayed. Echo delayed, or at least coming sometime this year, but delayed.
Yeah, it was supposed to come out at the end of this year after Loki, but they
delayed
next year.
So, yes, and then basically to the entire almost timeline of the MCU of release dates that was coming out. Basically, this strike was like the Dr. Umar to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You get 50 lashes. Oh wait, no, that's a harp. Flip. Oh, sorry. I have too many controls in here. With great power comes great responsibility. Anyway, but no, seriously, they were basically just one. Damn it, that's the other one. Let me just stop pushing buttons now. Anyway, yeah, they've been just kept delaying all these movies, all these shows, but now the big one was Deadpool was supposed to come out in May of next year, about 6 months from now. right? We should have been already getting a trailer or something like that by now. But no.
And for anyone who was like, why would we get a trailer that fast? Remember, the first Deadpool did not take that long to film, so we would have actually gotten some content for that. We know that they were they were literally in the middle of filming, and then nope. They can get back to it like once the actor strike is over, but at least script-wise, they can maybe do some stuff now. But yeah.
Yeah, so let me get this. I have full list right here from the full list of Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 5. Give me 1 second, y'all, as I share my screen. Here. And matter of fact, as I get the screen together, to get into a new segment, let me just do a quick commercial break. 1 second. And where is it? Yeah, quick commercial break, and I'll get this set up. We'll be right back.
I'm Miss Minutes, and it's my job to catch you up. So let's not waste another minute. Settle in, sharpen your pencils, and check this out.
All right, y'all. We are back. Let's see me 1 second. I get this banner right here. Yep, we are back. So here is the new current timeline we have here, and I have it just for you guys right here. So let me read it down. So currently, out of this year, unfortunately, we've had Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which was released on February 17th. Then we had Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which came out in May 5th of this past summer. By the way, hello to fall. We just had the last day of summer. So now the next film we have going to be released from Marvel going to be The Marvels in November 10th, which has not been delayed, has not been pushed, has been staying on target. So yes,
still
we have
coming out in November.
Right. We have the Marvels, which is going to be coming out in November 10th. We're starring Brie Larson, Tiana Paris, and Amon Vellani as Captain Marvel.
Samuel Jackson.
And Samuel Jackson. Yep. Who's going to be playing Nick Fury. And we got Amon Vellani come back as Miss Marvel. And yeah, so that's going to be the last, the final Marvel film in 2023. But we also still got Loki coming in about 2 weeks. Let me get. I'm trying to get my new Marvel movies Phase 5. Excuse me. Get my timeline in order. Okay. 1 second. Copy image address. Boom. There we go. Stop sharing screen. Present. Share screen. And boom. There we go. A little bit big, too big for y'all. Let me back that up. There you go. You see all the properties there in the back? Yeah. So I'll give you some quick glimpse of what's coming up. So yeah. So we got the Marvels coming out in November 10th, and then starting in 2024, we first had. I was supposed to have Deadpool 3 was supposed to come out in May 3rd, 2024. Followed that, we supposed to have the Thunderbolts. No, excuse me, Captain America, A Brave New World. Got new title change. Supposed to come out in July 26, 2024. Right. And then we're supposed to have the big one, the Thunderbolts, the new team up movies. They're supposed to conclude Marvel's Phase 5, which is supposed to come out in, I believe, September or November. September 6, 2024. And then Blade.
Oh, yeah, that's happening.
has been removed from the schedule. No release date has been confirmed. Fantastic Four, no release date has been confirmed other than possibly February 14th, 2025. Possibly.
We still don't even have the cast for that yet.
Yeah, we don't even have the cast for that. So then Avengers King Dynasty and Avengers Secret Wars have been moved off of the release schedule and been pushed back. We still have this Armor Wars movie. That's with Rhodey or the Skrull, or no, excuse me, the person that was
Scrody.
for last like 6 or 7 movies and stuff, and now he's back, but it's actually him. We haven't seen him since Captain America: Civil War. Now he's having his own movie called Armor Wars, which was supposed to be a show, but then got turned to a movie, and still no release date. And who cares? Anyway, so yeah, and the reason why I'm saying who cares, because they don't care. Because not even tell us a freaking release date. Yeah, I'm sick of this stuff. Anyway, and that will go into phase 6 and everything. But before I even get to that, we gotta talk about what we have already. So Jay King, how you feel in terms of release dates of all this that have been delayed because of the writer's strike, and now the writer's strike is coming to an end, and soon we'll get the actor's strike going in there. How do you feel about if we will ever get these release dates get pushed back, or they will still continue on with their original release dates and be delayed, and we're probably going to get these movies later on this summer than we expected before?
I mean, that all really depends at this point, because I mean, again, we're almost about done with the writer's strike, but in terms of the actor's strike, we still don't know how long. Again, as we just said, that could go on until Christmas or further into Christmas. So depending on however long that takes, like let's say hypothetically it ends Thanksgiving or Christmas, they still have a lot of stuff that they would need to take care of, because again, like Deadpool 3, Captain America: Brave New World, they were in the middle of filming. So they're going to go back to filming, but that doesn't mean that it's all going to be done, because they might want to change something within the script. There's still VFX stuff that would need to be done. You know, there are a lot of things that would go into the process after filming that would need to be taken care of for like the next couple of months. So I can definitely say that most likely it's either going to be a state where, like in 2020, we didn't have any Marvel films, or it's going to be a state that it'll just be later on in the year. Like we probably might get moved from like the summer till like the early fall or the early winter instead. Like we might go from those 3 films to maybe 2 or 1 of those films releasing next year, just again depending on when exactly this strike ends. Because again, even when filming does end, once they get back to it, it's still a lot of other stuff that will need to be taken care of first.
Yeah, honestly, like when you see all this entire list right here, again, this is all stuff that we have already some of them have already came out, but some of these are just about to come out. We already have Quantumania, Secret Invasion, Guardians, the Marvels come in November, Loki is coming up in about a couple of weeks, and Echo is getting a full season release, which shows you that they didn't have no faith in this freaking project. But it's coming in sometime later this year, or sometime probably beginning of next year, January at best. Which you know, as January has a release schedule, that means that's sending it to its grave. Because no movie or show ever really succeeds in January. That is a fact. That is a fact.
Nope, like the only one that had slightly a chance of had like a slight kind of success was WandaVision, but that's because it was the return to Marvel after a whole like delay thanks to COVID. But yeah,
cause let me get into this. Then you have Agatha, Covenant Chaos. Excuse me, Agatha, House of Harkness. No. Excuse me, just Agatha.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That might change.
The subtitle keeps changing.
The purple woman, whoever her name was, the witch from WandaVision. They keep changing. This show has been going through multiple different changes in its title. Same thing with Captain America. Just name the doggone thing. I'm sick of it. But I'm worried about whether the movie is
At least Captain America only had like 1 title change. It went from like New World Order to Brave New World, and it hasn't changed since. Agatha has had like 3 to 4 different titles.
This is like it's absolutely ridiculous. And I'm just saying how many times they changed this freaking show. Ironheart, which is already, I believe, already been done shooting. Already been done shooting. They already shot the whole show.
Yeah,
With
yeah, that like that should be done filming. Like, of course, there's still VFX work, but like, yeah, that should be done filming. But
But at
who
this
knows?
point,
That might
you
come
delay.
sooner than we know.
But here's the thing: at this point, that show has been so distant from Wakanda Forever that people probably forgot about her. I'm being honest with you.
Mhm.
I'm being honest with you. It's so distant. This show should have came out at the end or beginning of 2020, around 2020, yeah, 2023. If anything, it
Yeah,
should came out early this year because
it should
Black
have.
Panther, yeah, because Black Panther came out in end of 2022, right?
Hmm.
This should came out beginning around maybe mid time of like 2023, but no. And then at this point, we already had other movies, at least two, that we
Hmm.
just basically forgot about this character. We just, who cares? Like
Yeah,
it
like
just
the best chance to release it would have been early this year or during this summer when Wakanda Forever would have still been fresh in people's minds. We've already had Quantumania, Guardians, and we're about to have Loki soon, and then the Marvels later on. But it's like by this point, a lot of people are going to forget that she even was in Wakanda Forever unless you revisited the film.
right. And I'm just saying that if you're gonna bring this character into a show, into a show, and then he's attached, and he or she's attached to a big movie. Don't have this show come out months and months, even in a year later, or two later from the film, and have no instant. There is no cameos. There's no reference to say, wait, where's Ironheart in the Marvels? Where is she? No, she's not in it, right?
Yeah, no, like for instance, that's why the in between time of No Way Home and Doctor Strange and the in between time of WandaVision and Doctor Strange 2 was like a short window that people would still have that memory.
Yeah, right, exactly. Because those shows were connected with each other, so it's like it makes sense
Hmm.
why you would do that. But anyway, but that's no here or there. Then the big one, the big dog, Daredevil, stopped, which also had a lot of controversy with this releases too. Let me give you some
Hmm.
insight. Let me give you the plug. Let me get my full screen on. Yeah. So listen. So there's been a lot of issues with Daredevil, Disney Plus show, Daredevil Born Again. This guy right here, he's getting a new show. We've already had his couple of his shows on Netflix and everything, but apparently this show's been going a lot of controversy. Why, you may ask? Because the showrunner of the original show that was on Netflix had an issue how Marvel is basically promoting or actually developing the show. What
Hmm.
issue you may have? Well, if you know anything in network television or even streaming shows, regardless, when you get to four seasons of a show, you now have able to have this clause. This is I forgot what the clause is called, but in terms of filmmaking, where you have to now pay your writers, actors, and all that stuff in terms of additional salary or an increase in their salary based on the fact that you brought this show into 4 seasons. The same thing happened to Friends. The same thing happened to all these big network television shows. But if you notice something, I'm going to bring you back to Disney Channel. Have you noticed that after 4 seasons of a show like Zack and Cody, Hannah Montana, That's So Raven, after 4 seasons, after 3 or 4 seasons of that show, all of a sudden the show looks so different to you? Why? Why do we have Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, and after season 3, season 4, it went to Sweet Life on Deck? Because they were trying to beat the clause of them trying to increase these people's salaries. And that's why you saw these shows getting revamped every 3 to 4 seasons. I gave you a plug there. And because
Hmm.
Daredevil is considered to be on Disney Plus and not connect really the Netflix season 4 Daredevil, they say, okay, this clause doesn't mean anything because it's new. It's not a
Hmm.
continuation, whatever. Yes, it's the same character. Yes, it's the same villain. You got, Charlie Cox, you got Vincent D'Onofrio, all these folks. But nah, all that, they try to beat that out the window. Also, in terms of the choreography of the show, what the showrunners are saying, they're saying that they're using more visual effects and actually hand-to-hand combat in this show, like they did, and making it less of a more R-rated type of thing, which I understand because of Disney. But yeah, this show has been getting some flack from the original showrunner of Daredevil. That's not a good sign. But listen, I'm not gonna say it's dead on arrival. Out of all this is my most anticipated Disney Plus show out of all of them, right? And this is getting 18 episodes, not 6, not 9, 18 episodes,
The
right?
longest out of all the Marvel, hell, the longest out of like most of Disney Plus's content.
Right. So all this is coming out, and then again, we've been down this ringer before, and I just don't want to see another character and be broken down or have been rushed out and not actually develop this character now to what we all know and love. He's in the MCU, and now he just becomes a joke, and then me as a fan, I just have
emotional damage.
I had enough of it. For for season from phase 4 of Marvel. I've had enough of it. I don't want no more of it. I'm through. I rebuke. Don't make me do this in African in my African language. I will. Don't test me. But anyway, yeah. Sorry, I got my little rant there. But yeah, and then so other than that, also Captain Marvel, a big one. This budget has the budget just came out from this film. You know how much this movie costs for a sequel? Guess. Just guess. J King, just guess.
Oh, you actually want me to guess? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought we were talking to them.
No.
Well, obviously, I feel like it's a little less than the first Captain Marvel film. No. Oh, higher. Okay. I got nothing. Just tell me.
How about I should pull it up right now, so I won't misquote you. It looks like for the Marvels that it is tracking to be a modest $130 million. Only for later clarification that it revealed that it's a staggering figure of $270 million. This makes it one of the most expensive MCU projects and the most expensive non-Avengers film that has came out. Because understand, there have been movies that may cost way more than this. You had Avengers Endgame, you had Avengers Infinity War and all that stuff. But this film, the Marvel, the sequel of this woman right here, right? Cost it's a staggering $270 million. Be the most expensive non-Avengers film. On top of that, you have a strike that's going on right now with the actors. And by the time this movie come out, there's not enough time for these actors to come out and promote this freaking movie. Not going on press tour. No. The press tour will be happening now. So Brie Larson can't help save this movie. Tiana Paris cannot save this movie. Iman Vellani, bless her heart, she can't do it. And now you have the director trying to promote this movie, which then she's also having some controversy on herself because people don't like the way say it's a silly movie and all stuff like that, and and everything like that. So and it's what
which of course you're gonna get people saying that because for many of us who remember, a lot of people did not like the first Captain Marvel movie for one reason or another. Some of it being the woman on the screen right there, which it's neither here nor there. I don't care really about y'all's feelings towards Carol or Brie Larson. I don't freaking care. All right. But yeah, like as you said, without the actors, like without Brie Larson, without Amon, without Samuel, without any of them promoting this, like you probably noticed that there's a lot of movies that aren't doing so well at the moment because they're not really getting the promotion. People are seeing the movie later on, but in terms of like opening week or second week, not doing so well recently.
Yeah, because these movies are costing way too much for them to be where they're not even getting a return on this. And a lot of Hollywood films, I'm not talking about Marvel in general. I'm talking about what these films, Hollywood films this summer, especially what happened. Expendables cost the recent Expendables 4, which is probably one of the worst movies that came out this year. I am not kidding you. Expendables 4 is probably one of the worst films you probably see this year. I'm not even kidding.
I only saw like a little teeny bit of it, and I'm just like, yeah, no thank you.
But listen, this film nationwide, or I think domestically, made $8 million with a $150 million budget. Which normally after a second week when a film comes out has a 60% drop off, and you have a 60% drop off of $8 million. Shazam made more money than that. 2. But anyway, but my thing was this is that I see this film going to be making a loss, but it's not. I don't want this movie to be bad, but I just see that film does not promote it well. The marketing of this film has not been good, in my opinion. I'm being real. So and for you to promote it as a Captain Marvel sequel, and listen, I have no disdain for Brie Larson whatsoever. J. King, I know this. I have no disdain for Brie Larson. I have no disdain for Mom Villani and Tiana Paris. If anything, they're the only one bringing me to this movie. Damn, Jack, you broke my heart with Secret Invasion, but it's okay. I'm still rocking for you.
Yeah.
But regardless of that, I only saw the first Captain Marvel movie once.
Mm-hmm.
I only saw first Captain Marvel movie once, and I'm gonna have to see it again for continuity. And I don't want to, but this film will come out in November, probably see earlier, and I just already expected okay, what's the point of the same feeling you had while watching Flash or even Blue Beetle? Even though I love Blue Beetle, for some fans feel like, why do I care?
Right.
Why do I care? With Shazam, why do I care watching this? It's not connecting, and what you have done before, you haven't proved to me that this movie doesn't even matter, or because you're not even connecting this, and I gotta watch a YouTube video that gives me at least 5 minutes of me showing you what the little 2-minute connectivity you have in a different project, then I can just watch a YouTube video and I pay the $25 to go to see AMC theaters and get my popcorn, get my ticket and all that stuff, and my AMC Prime theater seats and stuff with the recliners and the speakers in them, right? I could save that and wait on Disney Plus in 2 months and for you to put it on there. And
that's the mentality recently. It's like a lot of people are just like, why the hell do I care? Especially if it's towards a film that has a certain element that a lot of people did not like. Like a lot of people liked WandaVision, so I'm pretty sure they'll like Monica being in here. And in terms of if you're someone that actually gave Miss Marvel a chance, you'll have liked that too, and will be excited to see him on again. And if you're still rocking with Sam Jackson even after Secret Invasion, then yeah, you're probably be there for him as well. But it's like, for a film that is technically a sequel, even though it's a sequel to like two shows and a movie, I don't want this to fail, because I have like a lot of reasons to actually like what I will like about this film. And again, like it's still not out yet. We got like almost another like month, because like we're about to be done with September, almost another month before this film comes out, and I want this to do good. But the problem is that nowadays the mentality of people, especially as I've seen recently on many reactions and many videos on YouTube, the bigger voice is just, why should I watch it now when I could wait like 2? Not about woke. It is not about. Let's stop that right now, okay? It's not about that, okay? It's not. And I'm sick of that shit, okay? I'm sick of that shit. It's not about any wokeness, okay? It's not about that. It's about the fact that people are in the mentality right now about, why should I watch this now when I can wait another like 2 or
court has spoken. Anyway, but yeah, before I understand. Before we open a whole nother can of worms with that, I want to go into then off the show, go and talk about Star Wars. We have to end it. Soon. But J. King, I just want to talk about your thoughts on Ahsoka.
Can you hear me?
You there? Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. My thing freezed up for a bit. Yeah, let's change subjects, please.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had this was episode 5 or 6.
Episode 6.
Forgetting. Episode 6. Okay, this is episode 6. We just recently had the return of Thrawn, the return of Ezra. I'm very much happy they're both back. I am very much glad that we are now that we're about to be in the last 2 episodes tomorrow with episode 7. Again, still enjoying the show. I'm still loving it. I'm glad to have both of these iconic characters back. And for people who, again, didn't watch Rebels or Clone Wars, but mainly Rebels in this case, to experience why we've been waiting for these characters for so long. Again, I still feel like the biggest disconnect when it comes to the show is the fact that a lot of people are like, well, I didn't watch Rebels, so it's like, or Clone Wars, so it's like I don't really care. Like when it comes to these big reveals, it's like I don't know if I should care. Again, you and me, we've seen both shows, but there's a lot of people out there that aren't watching it because they want to catch up with Clone Wars and Rebels first, or they just don't care because they didn't watch that because, oh, cartoon, blah.
Wait, are you there?
But do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, I heard you.
Okay, but basically, I'm still enjoying it, and I'm excited for tomorrow's penultimate episode. So, yeah, just ready to see how this precursor to the finale goes. But I've been enjoying them, and I just gotta say, Thrawn's entrance, Jesus, I did not expect all of his clone troopers to still be alive.
Yeah, so I felt that again with this show, especially with this episode, I know that again it's another a plot transition episode to the final 2, just as episode 3 was a transition to 4 and 5 and what we experienced on that. But again, even then with all of that, I feel like what they have done with this entire show has been off the chain. And if they keep continuing on with this pace, it might be my favorite Star Wars show. By the way, happy anniversary to Andor. 1 year. One best Star Wars content that came out since the prequels for some people. Yeah. I'll probably go binge it and everything. Now I have all the episodes and stuff. You watch on Disney Plus. But shout out to Andor. 1 year. Andor is 1 year old. So
a lot of people disregarded that show, but it was a really, really good show.
Yeah, but the question, again, the fact that we got the Night Sisters, but we're seeing more dimensions in terms of going to Balin's Skull, and we're about to in tomorrow's episode going to be approached with Ahsoka coming back or coming into the new galaxy that Thrawn and Ezra's in, and Sabine, and now we get to see how this all is going to tie together, and see that Thrawn basically going to be getting the assistance from the Night Sisters of this of their dark magic, and any whale that comes in that atmosphere, whatever, is going to be killed. So, but yeah, I still enjoy what they were trying to do with this show in terms of expanding this lore. We're now in a galaxy far, far away, finally, and
on the birthplace of the Night Sisters too. I did not expect them to say, "Oh, they actually came from somewhere else." That was unexpected and surprising and welcoming.
Right. So I'm really looking forward to this. And I guess I hope they don't end this show with disappointment in the final 2, because this has been a good payoff. But the question is, now the writer strike is going to be off. It's like, where's next? Is Balin's Skull can continue on with this season? Are we going to see more of him? Get him be recast and stuff like that? With these characters, what's going to be the culmination of all of this in terms of the starting point to this new film, this untitled film, which I think is going to be called Star Wars: Heir to the Empire. My opinion.
I'm not sure if it would be called Heir to the Empire, because I feel like it's going to be like one of the other two, because like Heir to the Empire was the first book with that. I feel like it might be, especially looking back at the titles, and I'm forgetting the titles right now, but I feel like it might be one of the other two. Like the film might be one of the other two as sort of like a conclusion. Like we're in the Heir to the Empire now, and then one of the other two books will be the title for that untitled Star Wars movie.
Yeah, it depends though, because we still don't know. I know what you're talking about. It's the Thrawn trilogy. Basically, there is the Dark Force Rising, and it's the Last Command.
Yeah, it might be either one of those. Like Dark Force Rising or the Last Command might be what the movie's actually called. Or they might
Yeah.
call it something new entirely. Like, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they could call it Star Wars Legends for all we know.
Right. So regardless of this, where they title it, we need some direction because after this now, this has been there've been also conversations them possibly retconning, the sequel trilogy, which is probably not going to happen. But
Nope.
even then, like what they're going to do in the next 2 episodes, really going to be changing the Star Wars universe in a more dynamic way that I'm looking forward to. But again, how this transition to the big screen in terms of movie aspect of this. Only time will tell, but I need answers. We know we got Skeleton Crew coming out, which now I know it's been delayed with the whole thing with the strike, but now the writer's strike is about to be ending. Things can probably be starting up with that. Still probably going to get a release of next year, most likely. But again, we need some direction of where this is going to go and release dates. So next Star Wars Celebration, I expect release dates and I expect trailers and all that stuff. So, but yeah, but other than that, the episode 2 of episode 7 of Ahsoka will come out tomorrow. But yeah, we'll basically be giving our thoughts on that on the following episode, following stream on Saturday. And again, Loki is starting next week, and we got The Boys. At least it's show. It's come out this week.
Yeah, this week. Yeah.
So coming out this week, 3 episodes of The Boys be coming out this week.
Gen V.
Yes, of the spinoff show Gen V. And there's still going to be some characters that we know, some familiar faces that I already know going to be in the show, but I can't say. But be on the lookout for that, y'all. And Loki coming out next week. And and we got some interviews going to be dropping soon. I did some interviews with some directors and like producers and stuff like that. So now with the strike and everything, now just hopefully just opens the door to more stuff for just content on this channel and everything.
And I got a big video that should be coming out either next week or maybe the following week, but hopefully next week.
Shout out to my big sis Sherelle in the building. Shout out to Sherelle. But yeah, and we're gonna be back here on Saturday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Covering all the topics in the world of movies and stuff like that. So be on the lookout for that. Until next time, Jay King, and this is Jedi Mike. Peace. God bless y'all. We are out.
Is there anything you want the fans to know or any last thing you want to say to them before we get to see this series tonight?
This is where the fun begins.
Thank you.